What's good, y'all? R.O.S Cuts back at it. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a drop fade with curls, a self-cut tutorial. Hopefully you guys like this video. Let's get right into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pick out the hair and just make sure it's all combed so you can have the cleanest cut. With curly hair, you want to make sure it's always laid down, just because when you're cutting, it'll probably just go all over the place when you're trying to blend, and you just want to make sure everything's laid down so you actually see what you're working with. Right now I am starting with my bald guy line using the Andy Slim lines and not kind of going too high because I still want to keep it as a drop fade and not really setting in a harsh guy line. I'm not using that much pressure just because I want to be able to flick that out once I try to blend it. So just making sure that I'm going contour to the head and dropping it as soon as I get to the back of the head, right under the occipital bone, however you're supposed to pronounce that. But that's basically what you want to do. You just want to remain consistent and make sure that your guy lines are super neat so that when you go to set your other guy lines, they all match up. You just want to make it neat so when you're doing your blend, it's just not all over the place. So right above that bald guy line I just set with my trimmers, I'm just taking my clippers, the Wall Magic clips, just trying to get a foundational fade before I detail. The second guy line I'm making is with the lever open, no guard, and just making sure that I'm constantly going over the hair multiple times. And then to kind of remove all of that bulk, I'm taking my two open and kind of going at the shape of the head, kind of going at the ridge area, just kind of flicking out. And then right above that lever open guy line with no guard, I'm going with the one open, just trying to make sure that I know where I'm trying to blend into and making sure that I'm going over the hairs multiple times just so all of the hairs are cut at the same length. And you just want to have patience when you're fading and just make sure that you can actually see what you're blending into. And since this is a drop fade, you don't want to go too high because you'll end up, one, making the client mad, and two, the style is that's not what the style is. It's a drop fade. You want to drop it towards the back of the head and just try to make it a decent transition for the client. So right now I'm just debulking with the two, then I'll go with the two closed, and then I'll go with the half guard. Just, it's like I'm erasing the line. I'm not trying to set a new guy line. I'm just basically flicking out and trying to just give shape to the style before I start to blend. So starting off the blend, right where I set that one guard open, I'm kind of flicking out using the one guard closed right at that line that I set with the lever open. You see it's kind of in the middle between the lever open and then the two guard closed. So I'm just kind of flicking out that line, getting it prepared for the 1/16 open and halfway and then close. So I just want you guys to really observe what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm doing without you actually trying to visualize it. So the art of blending is going against the grain and trying to really play it safe. Just start open always, just to give yourself room for error, and then close if the hair is not coming off. And right now I'm just shaping up my hair and just making sure it's rounded and not so boxy, just because that's the style I like to do. And I want to keep a lot of the bulk at the ridge, because that's just like, I like it blended in, but not to the point where it's too high, if that makes sense. I still want to keep the drop look. So just to get out that ball guideline, I'm just going with the lever close, no guard, then halfway, then open. I just want you guys to sit back and watch what I'm doing and kind of observe and just follow the steps that I'm taking. So basically just remember this in your head. From the bottom of the fade, I'm starting with the ball guideline using the trimmer. Then I go with the lever open, no guard. Then I go with the 1 open, no guard. Then I go with the 2 open, close. And then to remove those guidelines, I just go so for the lever open, I just start close, halfway, open. Then to remove the 1 guard open guideline, I just go 1 guard closed, 1/16 open, 1/16 halfway, then 1/16 closed, just flicking out at that line that I created. And then at the bulk area where I have the 2 open and closed, I'm just using a 1.5 guard, open, halfway, and then close. That's just the whole system that I follow. I start open, halfway, and close. The only time that I start closed is when I am trying to remove that bottom guideline. Just go ahead and watch how I just do this foundational fade. I'm not really trying to detail it too much, because after I put that line up on myself, then I'm going to really detail and get all of the dark spots. So a good thing you should probably do is probably take notes on what I'm doing, just so it can help you follow along, and just look at the guard I'm using, just look at the lever. And the best thing you can do when cutting hair is to try to visually learn something and then figure out what steps you can take to get the desired hairstyle for your client. So just to set myself up for when I go ahead and detail, I'm just going ahead and curling it with the twisted up comb. It's a black owned business, and I just want to support black owned businesses, and it's easier to clean. It's just the sponge, the regular sponge just has so much buildup and it gets so much bacteria stuck in it. It's just not really sanitary, to be honest. And the twisted up comb works the same exact way. So right now I'm just lining up my vertical bars. I don't really line up the front of my hairline, just because, you know, I am thinning. So I mean, it's inevitable. It's the genes. So I just line up the vertical bars. I mean, just keep the front hairline natural, and then I go ahead and trim my mustache down, and then I line up just right above the lip. and just keeping everything natural. And then I go ahead and fade in my beard, just going lever close, lever halfway, and then open. Not really fading it in too much, just fading it just a little bit so it just looks coherent and it flows into the fade. So right now I am grabbing my Babyliss Pro clippers, cordless, and I just got these and they're one of the best clippers on the market. I will do a couple clipper reviews very soon on this channel, and I just basically use those for detail and just to set myself apart from other barbers and just take my haircuts to the next level. So right now I'm just using the shaver just so my fade can really pop and just so it could last longer than just using the trimmers, and then just going ahead and flicking out that bald guideline with my trimmers and just making sure that there is no guidelines in this fade at all. You just got to remember, whatever you set the guideline in with, that's what you can get it out with. So just remember that at all times. And for detailing, I just go over all of my steps and just kind of detail, and I'm using the corner of the clipper and flicking out and just really targeting the dark spots and not really playing no games, and I'm just going after it basically and just trying to make this fade as detailed as possible. So this is the finished look, you guys. Just a regular drop fade with curls on top. This is one of the hardest fades, I think, in the barber game, to be honest, because a lot of people, they just choose to just go high just because you just got to remain disciplined with this fade. And I just over the years just cutting my own hair, and I usually get this style a lot, I just almost master the drop fade. It's just I hope I can get more clients to let me do this. So this is the end of the video. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow my social media. I'll be having more videos coming soon. Make sure you also comment down below what videos you want to see next. Peace.